Hello and welcome to Glittershinenails. If you saw my last video, you'll know that Born Pretty Store very kindly sent me some nail products to share and review on my channel. And in this video, you're going to see me use 3 of the items to complete the manis I've made using the products. As always, all the items can be found in the description box below, along with my 10% discount code. Before we get started, please subscribe to my channel and make sure you have the bell notification turned on. And please also like this video. These really do help out my channel. Thank you. Here are the 3 products I'm going to use for these manis I've already started. On my left hand I've used the Water Decals, and on my right I've used the black rivets. I've also used Flexi, and I've used the rose gold striping tape. Now, as well as my thumbs that need completing, she has 1 finger that needs to be completed for these manis. This striping tape comes in 3 different sizes and 2 different effects. In my previous video I did go through all of the products, but this is a packet of 6 sheets of water decals in geometric necklace designs. And for the mani I chose to use this one, and I've just got my thumb left to do, which I'll be using one of these designs for. And it's the same with the black metal matte rivets. Now I've also already laid out the ones which I am using. So I'm going to start with Flexi. Now 2 of the striping tapes have lost their inner rings, they fell off, which has made them slightly squidgy. So here are all the products I'm going to be using. I've got a base coat, a black gel polish, which is my favourite to use. I've also got the Born Pretty reinforcement gel. Now this is like a rubber top coat, and then I've also got a no wipe top coat. Then for the tools I'll be using my stalk scissors, again my favourite, and my tweezers. I've also got my gem picker upper tool, as I call it, as well, and I've also got a cleanup brush to hand just in case, as I'm using black gel polish. So I'm going to take a 240 grit file and I'm going to remove some of the surface shine. This is going to help the base coat to stick better to the nail. If I was doing this on enhancement nails, I would still apply a layer of base coat. That's just my personal preference. Now you could also use a white buffing block as well, but once I'm happy, I'll then remove all the dust with my dusting brush. If this was on a real person, I would clean the nail with isopropyl alcohol before I went on to the next step. I'm then going to apply a layer of the base coat, which I'm going to sort of gently bounce up towards the cuticle area, but I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to leave a gap all the way around the nail down the side walls. I'll also make sure that I cap the free edge as well, and then I'm going to cure that in my lamp for 30 seconds. Then I'm going to apply a layer of the black gel polish. Now black can be a hard gel polish to work with. I personally have found that working in very thin layers works the best, as applying a thick coat can and will cause bubbling, which is not a very nice effect. Now this gel polish is very pigmented, so I'm only going to apply 2 coats, which I'll cure each layer in my lamp for 60 seconds. If I get any on the skin, I'll use my brush and isopropyl alcohol and I'll remove before curing. Again, black can be an issue to remove from the skin, but just make sure that you clean it off. Each layer will also have each of the free edges capped. For me, I cap every layer regardless of what it is. This will help prevent the chipping and lifting which can happen. So now that's all cured, I'm going to leave the tacky layer in place. This is going to help me to stick the striping tapes down. I'm also trying not to touch the sticky back of the striping tape, as the tape will lose its stickiness and become harder to apply. And when I place them down, I'm making sure that I've got a little extra hanging off the edges. If you're not quite happy with your placement, you can just peel them up and replace them down again. Now, I've used these with gel polish and I will be applying products over the top of them. If you were using normal nail polish, I'm not sure how long these would actually last for. I'm also using the gem picker-upper tool to gently push in the middle of each of the striping tapes down, just to make sure that they are really well down. Once I'm happy with my design, I'm going to take my scissors and tweezers and I'm going to cut away the overhang. Now, when I do this, I'm going to make sure that I'm leaving a gap between the end of the striping tape and the nail. This will help when applying top coats to keep the striping tapes in place and away from lifting. Then once I've finished, I'll go over the striping tape again with the gem tool, just to make sure that I've got everything pushed down well. I'm then going to use the reinforcement gel over the top of the nail. Because this is a thicker gel, it's going to cover all of the lines of the striping tape to give you a smoother nail. Now, you could go in with a few layers of normal top coat if you preferred, but I just feel that these types of thicker gels cover the striping tape better and keep it in place better. Again, I'm going to make sure that I'm capping the free edge. I'll also slightly go over the side walls as well, really making sure that I've encapsulated the striping tape well enough. I'm then going to cure this in my lamp for 60 seconds, and once that has cured, I'm then going to come in with my no wipe top coat and apply a layer of that and then cure that. This is my first time using striping tape, and whilst it was fiddly and time consuming, I had great fun working with them. It might look a bit over the top for a whole mani, but they really do add an amazing effect to any nail. And that's the finished mani, which I really like. It's really eye-catching and I love the glittery and gloss effect from the tapes. So let's move on to finishing my nails. So I'll be working on both of my thumbs to complete these two manis. These are my absolute favourite base coat and top coat to use. I don't use anything else when using normal nail polishes. Now, even though I've got enhancements on, I still use a base coat, and this is to try to help with staining. I'm going to apply a nice layer to each of my thumbs and making sure that I cap the free edge too. If any hits my skin, I'll use my cleanup brush with acetone to remove any of this. I'll then leave to fully dry before applying my nail polishes. Now that's dry, these are the nail polishes I'm going to be using. A very pretty beige nude. And then for my other hand, I'm using this gorgeous slate grey polish. I'm going to apply a nice layer to each nail and I'll cap them as well, cleaning up any that I might have hit my skin with. Now, I prefer to use nail polishes because I change my manis so often for my videos. And this, where I've got the two different manis, that's very normal for me. Again, I prefer this to having two of the same hands. Once I've finished applying the nail polishes, I'll wait for them to fully dry. And I just want to say that if you've enjoyed this type of video and would like to see more of this style of video on my channel, then please leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. So now they're both dry, I'm going to apply my second layer again, making sure that I've capped as well. You might notice that on my right thumb that I have a little trouble when applying polishes and other bits and pieces, and that's because my thumb doesn't bend, and this makes doing anything nail related slightly more challenging. When I work with nail polishes, before I do anything like stamping or nail art things, like that, I like to top coat. I just like to protect my colour below, and this is just a personal preference. It makes the surface smooth and it really helps me when applying stamping and other bits and pieces. And with this being a nice thick glossy top coat, it really does make everything nice and smooth. Again, I'm applying a real nice layer, again capping and cleaning up anything that I might have gotten onto my skin, and then I'm going to wait for that to fully dry. So I'm going to be starting with my left hand, and I'm going to be using the top left decal for my thumb. I've got a different pair of scissors as I don't want to be putting my fingers through holes. These are just absolutely perfect. I've also got my tweezers and my gem picker upper tool, as well as a pot of cold water. So taking the scissors, I'm going to cut roughly around the design. Now the top layer did come off in my fingers. I'm then going to come in and I'm going to cut off all of the excess that I don't want. I'll try and get as close as I can to the design. I'm then going to place the decal into the water and leave it. When I did the other four, I did notice that it didn't need long before it came apart. It was about 30 seconds. I'll then remove from the water and blot the excess water off of the decal, and I'll then, between my fingers, I'll move the decal off of the backing paper. I'm going to try and place this central as I possibly can to the nail, which is quite awkward in my filming area. I'll then use my gem tool and a brush to flatten the decal to my nail. Now I don't usually wear decals because my nails are naturally really curved. It makes applying decals more difficult and they never sit right. However, these are brilliant. Not only are they completely flat to my nail, but there is no visible line around the decal at all, which is one of the things that really annoys me about decals. These have worked fantastically. One thing I did do with this decal was give it a bit of time before applying the top coat. When I did my ring finger, for some reason it has smudged and I'm not sure why. But when I do top coat, I'm going to apply a real floaty layer of top coat, not allowing the brush to actually touch the nail at all. I'm treating this exactly how I would top coat if I was top coating stamping. And then that's my thumb finished. Onto my right thumb. Now, if you saw my previous video, you'll know that these came in a pot. Well, I've sorted them all out into their sections and I've put them into this wheel. There is actually 14 different sorts of rivets in this entire pack. I've already sorted out what I want to use, but having the wheel makes it really, really easy. I'm also going to be using my favourite nail glue. This is the best nail glue I've used to date. I'm going to be using my gem picker upper tool for these rivets, and I'm making the same design which is on my middle finger. And I'm just going to apply a small amount of the glue to the centre of the nail, which is where I started all of the other nails. I'll use the other end to push the rivet about to make sure that it's as central as possible, and then I'll just repeat until all the rivets have been used. This is the first time I've ever used these, even though I actually have them in 3 other colours. I don't tend to use nail art items like what I've used today, but this black metal goes really well with the slate grey polish. Now the other nails, when I filmed this, had already been on 24 hours and everything was still perfect and in place as this video goes live. I'm now going to wait for the nail glue to dry before top coating, so I'm going to apply some of my favourite cuticle cream to my thumb. So now the glue has dried, I'm going to apply the final layer of top coat, and I'm going to be going straight over the top of the rivets as well. I'm doing Again, a nice floaty layer, and to be fair, once I've top coated I can feel them as they are raised, but they're not sharp. The top coat will also help protect them as well. And there are the two finished manis. I will wait for the top coat to dry before adding cuticle cream and to take some photos. I have really enjoyed doing this video, something quite different like I said earlier. Let me know if you would like to see more of this type of video on my channel from me. Thank you for viewing my mani tutorial on these Born Pretty store nail art products. Thank you to Born Pretty for sending me these to review. I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you did, then please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Comment below. I love to hear from you. Hit that subscribe button and share. Also, don't forget to come over and follow me on my Instagram page at glittershinenails. So until next time, thanks for watching and bye.